tell you that you cannot be late here in Wonderland? Well, no matter. Let's continue. I'm glad you've arrived. We're first beginning with a tour of the castle. You are extremely fortunate that the Queen is off to play some croquet with the Duchess today, and we can freely and calmly tour the castle and the gardens. If you would kindly follow me right this way, we will begin on the main floor of the castle. I would like to begin by, of course, explaining that we will not be touring the entire castle, but the most important rooms. There are, of course, hundreds of rooms, but we do not have the time to visit each exquisite one. As you can see, we are beginning the tour in the foyer. Clad in rare gold etched marble, this entrance sure makes a big statement with the grand staircase leading up to the second floor of the castle. We will begin by going down this corridor on the left. The one to the right leads to the drawing rooms, sitting rooms, of course, the Queen's courts, and various others, which we will not be visiting today. Okay, if you would please follow me. This way. This corridor, as you can see, is very elegantly finished. The castle halls are all paneled in rare Yggdrasil wood, and the floors are Rasknevik teaked wood. It's beautiful, isn't it? Right through this first doorway is the library. You can step right in. The floors of this library are set in an elegant herringbone pattern, which really shows off the subtle color differences on the Rasknevik. When you view it from different angles, you can just see the colors gleaming. This library also boasts, of course, Wonderland's largest and oldest library. As you can see, the bookshelves line the 20-foot ceilings top to bottom and wall to wall with some of the world's most exquisite pieces of literature. Some rare, some even first edition prints. Take a moment to look around, but please do not touch anything. All right, we're going to continue right down the corridor to the serving room. This is also known as the breakfast room. Right in here. This is where the royal family and their guests enjoy breakfast, promptly served at exactly 8:07 a.m. every morning. The Queen insists it not be a minute earlier nor a minute later, for if it's a minute earlier, she needn't have sufficient time before she has arisen and awoken to properly prepare herself for breakfast. And if it is a minute later, she feels she will not have enough time to digest her breakfast before lunch is served. The Queen, as I'm sure you are aware, is very particular about all aspects of her life. Continuing on, right across the hall. Through these doors here, this is the main dining room. Paneled in rare and imported Austrascox wood, this room is only magnified in beauty by the massive 30-foot table that runs down the center of it. The table itself is a piece of artwork made from a singular solid slab of wood, cut and carved from a giant fernwood tree. The table took over 2,000 hours of work to complete. Right through the double doors at the end of the dining room, we can actually enter the Great Hall. We are not going to step foot in it, as they have just polished the floors in preparation for the Queen's ball later this week. But I did want you to get a chance to peek at the 60-foot high gilded ceilings that simply float high above the elegant and mystical black marble floors. We will head back through the dining room, and you can follow me right down the hall to the double doors at the end. Welcome to the Queen's Conservatory. The massive glass walls and ceilings both allow for light and for the plants to grow, and for the phenomenal views of the grounds as the conservatory looks over the majority of the gardens. This is one of the Queen's favorite rooms, and she's often found here watching out over her gardeners, tending to her precious rose garden. We're going to head back down to the ground entrance to head up to the second floor of the castle. Here we are. We're going down the corridor on the right first. This first door leads into the study. Paneled in Yggdrasil wood again, this room features a unique quirk. The panel to the left of the fireplace actually conceals a secret passage up to the third floor. The passage is intended to be used as a shortcut for the servants who are attending the royal family during afternoon tea, which they take here in the study. If you would follow me, we're going to visit one more room in this corridor. Right down here, through this door, is the playing room. The card table in the center of the room is, of course, another one of the Queen's favorite pastimes. She is an excellent card player. That table over there, on the other hand, holds a very special and unique item. It is a rare known fact, but the King's favorite pastime is playing chess. That table there holds Wonderland's rarest chess set. Carved by Lilus from the valley, each piece is individually made from a blue sapphire gem, each mined from the far mountains. The board itself carved from a singular, solid, blue sapphire gem. In fact, the largest gem ever to be known in existence. It's really an exceptional piece of art. Well, enough about that. let's head down the other corridor to some of the good stuff. We are first going to enter the King's Suite. You may step inside the door to the following 2 suites, but no further. And please refrain from touching anything. This impressive suite is the King's Suite. The bed is made from, again, the rare and imported Austrascox wood, and is lavishly carved with care. This room, as you may notice, is a very distinct Wedgwood blue, as are most of the decor. This is the King's favorite color, also a fact that most people do not know. If you would please follow me across the hall. Through these garnet-clad double doors, we find the lavish and luxurious Queen's Suite. The Queen's Suite is, of course, the most elegantly decorated room in the castle. Painted her favorite shade of crimson, the solid gold 4-poster bed stands gleaming opposed the oversized fireplace, with matching gold mantle. You also have probably noticed the wonderful fragrance that wafts through the room. This, of course, comes from the 85 freshly picked bouquets that she has brought in daily before she awakes. Before we head out to the gardens, you're probably wondering where the stairs at the end of each corridor lead to. And that answer is up to the 3rd floor, which is actually where the servants' quarters are, as well as access to the stairwells that lead to the castle towers. If you would follow me, please, we'll head out to the gardens now. We begin our tour of the castle grounds and gardens here, just outside the conservatory. This fountain area serves as the garden's sort of foyer, with all of the elements leading off of it. We will begin by going down this path directly to the right of us. Welcome to the statue garden. This garden features statues of many notable and beloved folks here in Wonderland and abroad. The statues can be found laced between over 350 species of wildflowers. The statue garden is about an acre in size, but extremely lush with plants. We will head back down the next path, this one here on the right. But before we step any further, I will just show you the entrance. This is the entrance to the Queen's Hedge Maze, with hand-laid brick paths and 20-foot-high hedges. This is nearly a 4-acre hedge maze that can take hours to complete. Follow me, please. We will not be going into the maze. It's just merely a glimpse of the entrance. The next path we are going to take leads to another favorite spot of the Queen. Just down here, as you can see, this path opens up to the Queen's croquet grounds, complete with newly added spectator stands. The grass here was also imported, and so we have a crew of 30 typically hand grooming the lawns. Just past the croquet grounds, you can actually see the guard stables, The stables are made from imported wood and hand-fired tiles. It, along with the rest of the castle, is a masterpiece. Back to the fountain we will head. So, as we get back, if we go down this path, we're going to get to some of the more elaborate parts of the tour. The Rose Garden. There are two. We will go look at this one first. Welcome to the Queen's Tea Garden. Here she has all roses that come from the tea species of rose. They are not actually used for making teas, but rather they are called this from their fragrance that highly resembles teas. The entire garden is comprised of 6 varieties of tea roses, varying in every shade. I will show you a specimen of each of these. First, we will begin with these right here at the entrance. This delicately petaled bloom is called Mama Kashi and is respectively found right next to Papa Gontier. The white blooms on the Mamo is beautiful, while the Papa rose has an eye-popping red bloom, appearing almost bronze in color with new growth, and was imported to Wonderland over 100 years ago. If we head right over here, you can see a strain of roses called Madame Berkeley. This plant carries a very full, slightly knotted bloom, varying in shades of apricot and peach, with a touch of gold at the base of each blossom. A truly beautiful specimen. And right next to it, following the color spectrum, is the Madame Lombard rosebush. This bush boasts large, double-sized flowers, which are said to be extremely fragrant and varies in salmon to deep orange shades. It's beautiful, isn't it? Next to that, we find the Lady Hillingdon species of rose. This plant is rich in pointed amber yellow buds and contrasting purple young shoots. The semi-double blooms open in a loosely cupped shape to release a strong and distinctive fragrance similar to that of green tea. Smell? Lovely, isn't it? Lastly, spread among the other species, we can find the Marie Van Hoot, large globular flowers of lemon yellow deep in the center and pinkish lilac at the tips. Scattering the bush plentifully, the blooms bloom frequently. Well, that was just a quick rundown of a few of the Queen's roses in her tea garden. But, as you can see, it spans a vast majority of the Queen's gardens, almost a full 22 acres. Right down here, through this entrance, we will arrive at the most prized part of the garden. Here, the Queen has amassed a collection of over 100 species of roses, all red, of course. Leading down the path here to the Queen's prized red rosebush we pass by a sample of 18 of those wonderful red roses. I will go through them as we walk by. Polonaise, fires of Alamo, crimson glory, altissimo, the Dortmund, Chrysler Imperial, Gypsy Boy, General Jacques Minot, Ferdinand Pichard, the handsome bloom, gorgeous flower, red cascading roses, magic dragon. Here we have scarlet moss, cadenza, John Cabot, Bailey red, the Uten, and lastly the scorcher here, just as we arrive. And as you admire those beautiful roses, we have arrived in front of the Queen's most valued and prized bush, the Dame de Cour, or in English, of course, the Queen of Hearts. You can take a guess as to why this is the Queen's favorite bloom. This cherry red rose blooms freely with large, double-sized, fragrant flowers that are wonderful for fresh-cut bouquets. This rose, in particular, is unique, as you will notice the blossom darkens to an almost black crimson color as the blossom ages. As we leave today, you'll receive a single Dame de Cour rose as a souvenir to your visit to the royal castle. That concludes your tour, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Feel free to spend some time here before making your way back to the entrance. Have a wonderful day.